Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Seftimor Daily. Hope everybody had a great new year, a safe new year. Holidays are over, so time to get back on the horse, get going with these goals for the new year, get going with these new endeavors, these new plans that I have. So that for me, that includes things like dropping weight, getting into a better mindset overall, making more blog posts, making more podcasts, just doing more work. I feel that I always work and try to do things, but I do have a lot of downtime still. And if I could somehow work more on things, I could probably get out something like a blog post a day or just other things. But new goals, new year, podcast is back, daily is back. Going to be trying to do this as much as I can, get back on my tweet game that you probably saw that I started today, which I'm going to talk about. I have to keep doing the podcast because the homie Hidden started his, and he's already blown me out of the water with follows on Mixer, so I can't have him beat me in podcast episodes. So not gonna let it happen, Eden. Anyway, today I tweeted out. I preach positivity a lot on here, being Twitter. I feel it's the best way to maintain your energy for the projects I want to accomplish. On the flip side, remember that negative emotions have a place as well. It's all in how we use those emotions. When negative emotions arise, don't give in to them fully. Use them as a tool for feedback. I don't like where I'm at right now, or I don't like how this person is treating me. Understand it, feel the emotion, let it pass, stay in the now, fix the situation. This came into my head from reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F by Mark Manson. And he fully talks about this in the book. I'll put a link to it in the description. Great book that I'm actually currently writing a review on. I'm almost finished with it. So the review and finished with the book. So I like to get a head start on ideas for the review while they're fresh in my mind. So expect that shortly. But anyway, we always preach positivity. We always preach stay positive. The problem with that is that not that it's fake, but that's not for me. Now remember, this for me isn't reality. Someone gets cancer and you're like, oh, well, that's the breaks, or you have a tragedy in your life or something happens and you try to think of it in a positive light, which we can. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a episode of Seinfeld called, well, I don't know what it's called, but it's Serenity Now, and it's an episode where Kramer and all these people, I think George's father, they keep, every time they get pissed off, they say serenity now, and then someone comes to him and says, serenity now, insanity later, and then later on they end up like blowing their lid and freaking out. Negative emotions have a place. People are on this thing where they talk about positivity, and I believe it, but I think we're kidding ourselves if we're not acknowledging the fact that people will say positive and then they'll say, oh, I had a bad day. I want to be the person that shows both sides of the coin and shows that it's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to not be positive all the time, as long as we're using it, as I said in the tweet, a tool for feedback. So let's take, for instance, your job. You hate your job. You don't want to be there. You could change it. You could change it, especially if it's, a job that you could find a substitute fairly simple. Customer service, things like that. You could get a bunch of different customer service jobs. You get a bunch of different retail jobs, things like that. I mean, obviously, if you're in a bigger position, that's a little harder, but I'm just trying to make an example here. And what I'm trying to say is that you could change. So instead of, saying, oh, well, I'm here and it's a job and I'm doing that, when you're actually really set and it's really hurting your state and your presence to the moment, use the negative emotions that you feel as feedback to understand that you have to change something, to understand that you have to figure it out. Things don't come easy. And I wrote another tweet, but that'll be for another Seftimor Daily, about instant gratification. But you have to, when these emotions arise, when anger arises, when sadness arises in you, you have to look at it as a signpost for something else. Look at it as a signpost of change, or feel it fully. Feel that anger fully. Let's say in my circumstances, I'm pissed off of my weight. I could say, hey, that's it. That's my body type. This is what happens. Oh well, and reframe it in a positive light. But I've been dealing with weight issues my entire life. Why don't I use that as fuel when I go to the gym, or fuel when I go for a run or a walk or whatever exercise I'm doing? Fuel that, use that as a tool to say, screw this. I'm not going to be that person. I want to be this person. I feel that we can use this and have it as fuel, as long as it's directed, as long as the negative feedback is directed in a positive manner, as long as that feedback that we're getting could be useful to us. We don't want to have a negative emotion acted upon with another negative emotion. We don't want to have anger at someone and then punch them in the face. That's not the way things, should be. But someone says, oh, you suck, or your content sucks. Feel that, oh, shit, that hurt. But then figure out what you can do better. Use that as a tool. I mean, not all negative feedback is true. You just got your trolls and stuff like that. But use that. Now we turn it into a positive, while not blowing our lid by staying in this positive mindset when it might not be reality, and pushing things down until we eventually explode. And we don't want that. I feel I get this way, but I've been working on using them as a tool, because when I have negative emotions arise in me, you can go really down the rabbit hole and just get down and depressed. And that happens to me. So I'm going to start using this and realize that I have more control over my life than I'm out to be, that I set out to be, and that I'm choosing. When someone pisses me off, I'm choosing to have that ruin my day. And this might not be how other people look at it or how other people feel about it. But the fact of the matter is that I could either dwell on it or I could overcome it. And I'm going to choose to overcome it in this new year. And I hope you do too. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope everyone's having a great new year. If you need to talk to me, you can hit me up at Seftimor on Twitter or Instagram. Also on Instagram, I'm going to try to be posting daily, maybe, hopefully, more micro blog posts. Picture from my life with a little blog post underneath it. I'm going to try to get personal in there as well. So if you're not following me on IG, check me out. and share this as always with somebody that can use it. And don't forget to subscribe. It's free. It helps out the channel. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you again soon. Peace.